What's going on, everyone? We got an interesting video here, and also Steam went down. I don't know if you guys knew about it, but over here on the forum over in Resetera, it says people can't access Steam, but I just checked it. The service just went back up, but it was actually down for I think almost an hour or so. Says someplace somewhere in Christmas and people are redeeming their Steam cards all at once. Valve got on that quick though. Half-Life 3 Shadow Drop confirmed. I'm online and for instance it's working for me oddly enough, but everything else is super slow or not loading at all. It is all about the grandmas I've been hearing about. Store is screwed up, but the client seems fine. For instance, it's working. Can't access the store, but downloading seems to work. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Was Steam down for you? Because that's a crazy thing. But getting back to the main topic here, we have some stuff to talk about when it comes to Samsung and its updated aspect. So I don't know if you guys know, Samsung was supposed to delay its planned DDR4 end of life production, right? But with the crisis hell in the RAM world for DDR5, and you know DDR6 is going to be massively demanded for next gen and other things around the corner, they're deciding not to go with that signed long-term contract here. It says right here, um, Samsung to delay its planned DDR4 end of life due to signing a long-term, non-cancelable, non-returnable contract with key customer. Agreement will not alleviate customer shortage or consumer shortage. Supply earmarked for server clients, meaning they're going to continue the DDR supply. But when you say consumer shortage, I want you guys to think about this. This is not necessarily talking about you, but for people who want that massive supply demand. We're going to get into this in a second, how a lot of this is still bad in a way, and it's annoying because it is not going to alleviate certain things, but it's going to make it, I guess, good for the insiders. Yeah, there's some stuff to talk about here that's going to still affect PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam Machine, and Nintendo Switch too. And the reason why is because you would think that with them being able to not stop the production of DDR4, they would alleviate certain things. No, what this means is that if it's going to be available even then to the consumer, they're going to jack the price up of DDR4 because the demand for 5 and whatever is ridiculous. So Samsung has reportedly delayed the shutdown, like I was trying to tell you, of its DDR4 production line. Yeah, which is initially announced earlier this year. According to DigiTimes, machine translated, the South Korean chipmaker is doing this as 16 gigabyte DDR4 models or modules hit a record of $60 in the spot market. You're saying, oh, $60. No, that's not what that means. What that means is ridiculous prices they're selling it to you, and that's bulk stuff that is not relevant to the actual price you'll be seeing. Trust me. Yeah, just like they said, there's going to be a $20 raise, but guess what that really means? And you saw the prices skyrocket. Some RAM is like $150 more when it's being sold to you because they have to buy in bulk. Some of them have to buy millions or whatever, 100,000. So this pricing made the DDR4 market lucrative enough for Samsung to delay the shutdown of its existing DDR4 production line. However, it will not set up new ones to accommodate increasing consumer demand. You see what that says? It will not set up new ones to accommodate increasing consumer demands. They're just not doing that shutdown like they say. You see what I mean? Of its existing line. They don't care about you. They're not benefiting you, which is not good. Because I think people could still be fine with DDR4 at a certain type of megahertz at 32 gigabytes. You see what I mean? But no, they're not doing that. Or even 24 with a 16 gig and an 8 if you could do that. But anything more than 16, obviously, because that's starting to become a demand. But with the way things are going now, developers need to adjust big time, and they can, just like they can adjust with 8 gigabytes of VRAM. They're just doing all this extra crap, but you can be totally fine. So if you guys want to know what they mean by NCNR, it means non-cancelable and non-returnable. Yeah. Contracts mean a client will receive a fixed number of memory modules at a fixed price. It's non-cancelable and it's non-returnable. And the price or volume cannot be modified in the future because they're not doing anything new. Look, as they said, they're not setting up new ones to change the contract to increase consumer demand. They still want people to focus on the increase of DDR5 and DDR6 coming. So that's why they said they're clients. It's not about you. It's about them doing some contracts with their clients. Will receive a fixed number of memory modules at a fixed price, and that the price or volume cannot be modified. In other words, the customer is contractually obliged to buy the product regardless of any other factor. So if there's any faults, it doesn't matter. You bought it. I ain't giving you. You ain't getting no returns. because I was going to cancel it anyways, and I don't care to give you a deal. That's what they're saying, guys. This type of agreement ensures stability in both volume and the cost for the customer so that they won't be affected by the current volatility in the memory market driven by the AI rush. So you got to think about this. Let me just say it right here. Sorry, volatility. And the memory market driven by the AI rush. On the other hand, this helps Samsung insulate itself from the uncertainty in the memory market. Even if the AI bubble bursts, hear this out, and there is an oversupply of HBM and DDR5 memory modules causing their prices to drop, this ensures that its DDR production line remains profitable. So it's all about profit that they're doing for themselves and for their clients as a consumer. Not about you. That's what they're telling you. Sources say the NC, as we know, non-cancellation, non-refundable price is expected to exceed $20. They're going to jack the price up of that already through the contract per 16 gigabyte DDR4 module. But Samsung is still evaluating the market and may increase it further. Yeah, jack the price of DDR4 even further when you thought it should be dirt cheap now. Yeah, boy, what type of world are we living in? Still, this is only a third of prevailing spot market prices for short-term contracts. Unfortunately, the client said to be gunning for the NCNR contract mainly focuses on server applications. And no consumer-facing company has signaled its intent to secure a long-term contract for DDR4 chips. But if they got to backtrack, you kind of get the point. This means that end users should not expect any relief from the ongoing memory shortage. Yeah. Samsung originally planned to end DDR4 production to focus on HBM and DDR5, but it seems that the booming AI demand for HBM has caused DDR5 memory pricing to skyrocket. This led to higher demand and prices for older DDR4 memories because they know they can still get it working. Of course they can. And if you guys see that, they're talking about production lines. However, these are expected to serve industry clients. You guys, this is what I tell you, industry clients. And when they say consumer, they're not talking about you. It's the consumer of industry clients for Samsung, not you guys. If there's any DDR4 for you, it's going to be priced out the ass, not consumers. So PC builders and enthusiasts should not expect any form of relief from the RAM shortage in 2026. That's for their own end and for their profit. See? This is not good. So this still is screwing you over and not relieving you in any sense. Yeah, it's right there in front of you guys. So you guys get this idea here. Samsung is becoming quite the monopolist and villain, and they know they can get away with it. Definitely when you have other people dropping out. And then you see what the hell is going on with SSD, along with saying that the client aspect and the SSD and the third party is worse because they don't have that type of extra manufacturing compared to RAM. So that's going to screw over people that are in the position of DDR in the SSD world. Yeah, and who knows how that supply could increase depending on if they build more data centers and more power plants and all that type of stuff. What this means is that we're talking about the shortage going beyond 2026 and kind of being almost clarified here. Not no good news in the holidays, which is BS. And we may be seeing this going into 2027. So that's why I was trying to tell you guys, when it comes to like PS6 production and Xbox Magnus production, even Steam Machine, they're not really getting remedied here. And they don't care either. And if they're their clients and they're going to be jacking up the price of DDR4 stuff for certain companies, obviously they're using DDR5. But what I'm saying is that if they're going to be charging them more for that, they're going to expect more demand for consumer prices, meaning you, for whatever the hell they want to do. Because they're pissed off because they can't get their DDR5. So that DDR5 market it's not getting any better by this. It's just benefiting Samsung and them being able to remain more profitable. Here we go again, corporations and profits. You see what I mean? Yeah. So Samsung to delay its planned DDR4 end of life due to signing a long-term, non-cancelable, non-returnable contract with key customer. Because obviously this happened before that all went to hell, right? Agreement will not alleviate consumer shortage. Supply earmarked for server clients. So now we understand when we talk about consumer shortage, and server clients like data centers and all that type of stuff. And we need memory. This DDR5 is like, so we'll take this because this price is too insane for us. Who knows what type of clients they're getting outside of the mainstream stuff? Who also want to chase that dumb stuff? You get what I mean? So it's not like it got any better, but that they're opening up more things for more people to rush in because it's already so bad. And they're saying that even with this, you think it's going to change for 2026? No, because people need DDR5 as a base thing, knowing that DDR6 is coming too. But the oversupply, then guys, think about this. Even if the AI bubble burst, they said this, and there is an oversupply causing their prices to drop, this ensures that its DDR4 production line remains profitable. They're preparing for the AI bubble burst. They're telling you that. They have an idea that it's going to do this, but this also tells you that they're manipulating. Yeah, like I said, this is like drug cartel manipulation and the RAM and SSD industry and the electronic industry. Let's think about this, guys. This right here is going to tell you even if it burst and there's an oversupply and the prices go down, guess what? We're still making profit even in that. So we're preparing for that and we're choosing not to end it. Yeah, all this stuff is very shady, if you ask me. I know some of this is confusing. It is. That's why I'm trying to explain it as much as possible. So Samsung, man, what when you thought Apple was bad, these bastards, man. This is crazy right here. I want you guys to let me know what you think about this, and also what the hell's going on with Steam. Let's check this again because it was down. Now we got 30 million online. Oh snap! Look at that. There's hits again, guys. Our service unavailable again. This is unstable. What the hell's going on? Now there's WebSocket errors going on. Imagine if they have more overload. Oh my lord. Guys, what the hell's going on here? Let's wait on this refresh. This is interesting because there was people down here saying that it was coming back up, right? And he says it broke again. All right, we got 5 seconds. Are we ready? What the hell's going on with Steam? Oh boy, it went down again. Damn, this is crazy. If I would have known that, I would have talked about it a little bit more, but we get some crazy we get some crazy stuff going on here in this video. What the hell, man? You guys are gonna have to let me know what you think about this. It went down twice. Man. And there is question marks all across the world. There's high load. They're trying to get things going right here. Steam connection managers, you see that. Let's wait on this reload again, guys. Oh, wow. What are the pirates gonna do about it? PC gaming is taking quite the hit right now. Good lord. Let me know what you guys think about this. Like, comment, and subscribe. Good lord.